Well, hello, everyone. I'm Sandra Harry of The Great Discovery, and we are on our Wednesday night course, new course spotlight with Donna Riccardo. And Donna has a great course on the platform. It's all about networking. So everything networking, and everything is networking these days, right? So very, very great course. So Donna Riccardo is a natural introvert and was once so terrified of people she couldn't even look at someone in the eye and talk to them at the same time. She likes to say it was divine intervention that led her to speak because there was no earthly reason she ever would have done that. But her face, but she, but she faced her fear head on and went on to become a program leader for one of the top personal growth and development companies in the world. Donna is trained in NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. She's a practitioner. She's a 13-year veteran of Toastmasters International, where she earned the highest honor of Distinguished Toastmaster. And she's an active member of the National Speakers Association. She also is a best-selling author of Public Speaking for Entrepreneurs, How to Show Up, Speak Up, and Get What You Want for Your business and for your life. With over 30 years of experience as a speaker, coach, trainer, Donna now helps others powerfully create connection with their audience, speak with clarity, and find clients while they're at it. She does this through her company, Red Stiletto, Get to the Point. So I want to introduce Donna Riccardo and take it away, Donna.
Thank you, Sandra. We just heard Sandra say a lot about how I do public speaking and work with people on that. However, I'm going to talk about networking tonight. You might be asking yourself, how do those two things come together? Well, I say that networking is one-to-one public speaking or one to a small group public speaking. And it's really super fresh in my mind because I would have been on here earlier, except I was at a networking event. So we're going to talk about networking because it's all about, well, you'll see what it's all about. Would you like to know how to network with fun and ease and get results? Is that something that you'd be interested in? In the chat, type one word that describes how you feel networking. What does it usually feel like to you? One word, fun. Sandra's fun. Jonathan, work. Okay, hang on, I'm not sharing my slides. Hang on one second. Let me get that up here in a moment. Just realized that. All right. There we go. Can you see those?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So how to have fun, ease, and results from networking. Now, how does networking usually feel for you? Normal conversation, some of you like meeting new people, having fun, interesting, apprehensive, fun work. Okay, good, perfect, thank you. Well, you're all in exactly the right place. Exactly. Networking can feel any of those things, again, including awkward or even scary. Now, most people don't hate networking. If you're in that camp of in any way, what they hate is how they've been taught to do it. A lot of people will dread networking because they've been taught to do it in a way that feels forced or fake or painfully awkward. In my talk today, you'll learn a refreshing way to connect, one that builds real relationships, creates natural business opportunities, and actually feels good. You'll get to ditch the awkward, forced, fake networking and learn a better way that actually connects with people. Doesn't that just make you feel better right now? You'll see how to easily turn everyday conversations into real relationships and natural business opportunities without sounding salesy or weird. And you'll walk away with simple, practical tools you can use immediately to network with confidence, clarity, and ease. So let's be honest. A lot of times networking feels forced and about as much fun as sticking a fork in your eye. You walk into a room, you slap on your best, I'm confident, smile, grab a name tag, and maybe suddenly your mind goes blank and you forget how to just have a normal conversation with a normal human being. Or maybe you're online, you log into the meeting and maybe you never put your video on, or you put it on and simply don't participate. Or you find yourself in a breakout room with people you don't know and hear yourself mumbling something about who you are and what you do. We've all done that dance in one way or another, either in person or in the Zoom rooms. So, what do you do? Interesting. Yeah. Don't ask questions or get asked any either, and never speak to those people again. Yet we keep going. We do this over and over and over, hoping one day it'll magically work and the networking gods will smile upon us this time. Here's the truth. Networking isn't broken. The way we've been taught to do it is. Today, I'm going to show you how to network in a way that feels natural, builds real relationships, and actually helps to grow your business without being weird, salesy, awkward, fake, or any of that. Because I know none of you are interested in that. And I'm not either. So I'm going to share with you today the 3 shifts that change everything. In the chat, finish this sentence. I'll put this up for you. The hardest part of networking for me is, what is the hardest part of networking for you? Throw that in the chat. Finding time can be time consuming. I'll give you that. Yeah. It's hard for people to talk about what they do once you get there. Yep, a lot of people tell me that. And having to talk about not doing what you love. So I'm not sure what you mean, if like you're not doing what you love in life and it's hard to talk about it, or not being at the networking, you don't love the networking, but either way, I get something you don't love. And the meeting after the meetings, yes, that's actually where the magic happens. You have those meetings with people, you get to know them better, typically referred to as a one-to-one. All right, here is shift number 1. Raise your hand if you've ever left an in-person networking event with business cards and 0 connection. You can just do your real hand. That's because we've been taught to collect contacts. Now, I think things have gotten better over the years, but that's because we've typically often been taught to collect contacts instead of building trust. So stop networking and start relationship building. Now, if your goal is to get business cards, you're going to get them. You're going to get them. But if you're online and you're networking and your goal is to save all the information in the chat, for later use, you'll get around to that one day. You'll have a nice list. But none of this makes any difference if you do nothing with it. But if your goal is to build relationships, you'll get opportunities. People don't refer strangers. They refer people they trust. I'll say that liking them is a bonus. Here's a practical tip. Instead of asking, what do you do? You can ask some different questions. Maybe you'd say, here would be an example for mine. You know how people often don't really know what to talk about? They want to public speak, but they don't really know what to say. So this would be, how, and would be your product or service. And they always say they don't know what to say or they don't know what to do with their hands. Well, that's what I help them with. That's what I work with them on. So you can plug your thing in like that. You can also ask questions like, what's your business really about? What kind of clients do you love working with? What's the best part of what you do? How did you get started in your business or your industry? Or any other question that you would be interested in hearing the answer to. Instant upgrade, 0 awkwardness. Now, speaking of hearing, that takes us to shift number 2. Shift number 2 is be interested, not interesting. In the chat, finish this sentence. The hardest part of starting conversations is, how would you finish that sentence? Well, if you're just thinking of it and not writing it, somebody, not finding it so hard, what problem to address? Whatever it is for you, it is fixable. I promise, it is fixable. planning the conversation. It's fixable. Everything you wrote is fixable. You do not need a better pitch. You need better curiosity. Consider what most people call listening is waiting to talk, waiting to get their words in edgewise and grasping very little of what the other person is saying, while the whole time they're thinking about what they want to say. Very few people are actually listening. Oh, and it's even worse than that. Sometimes, and I know none of us here would ever do this, but sometimes the other person stops listening to what we say because they are not interested in what we offer. They're not even thinking about who they know that could benefit. They're like, oh, okay, no, I don't need that. La, 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 where's the food? So try this. Try listening for something. So what does that mean? Listen for why do they do what they do? You might find that you get inspired, like, oh, maybe you didn't know that about that person. Who do they serve? This is how you'll know who to refer to them if you find that that would be a good connection for you. What lights them up? It's so much more fun to listen to someone who's excited about what they do, and also be sure to reflect back to them what they've said so that they know that you really heard it, listened, and got it. So, for example, so what you really love is helping people. I love helping people with networking and public speaking. But, if you were listening to me say that, that could be something you might say back to me. Since you listened well and actually got what they said, instant connection. They feel respected, they feel valued, and they feel heard. Isn't that what we all want? And you can be the one to bring it. And then notice the positive effect it has on your relationship with that person. Shift number 3, plant seeds, not sales pitches. Right now, think of one person you should follow up with, but have not. One person. Go with the first one that jumps into your mind. That one. Now in the chat, type done, D-O-N-E. Type done. Now your job, when we're done here, is to follow up with that person. I recommend opening up a new email, putting their name in it, or grabbing a piece of paper, putting a note, put a piece of note paper and put their name on it. That's what I do when I need to remind myself to go back and do it when I'm doing something else. You just created momentum and you created existence and possibly money in under 10 seconds. That's the power of intention. Networking is not about closing deals. It's about opening relationships. Instead of pitching yourself, think of who you know. For example, you could say, while you're thinking of a professional maybe you would say, if you ever need window treatments, I'd be happy to help, thinking of your window professional friend. Or, I know some great people who would be really good for you to meet. I'd be happy to connect you. Or even, let's stay in touch. I'd love to hear how this unfolds. Here, you become helpful, memorable, and referable. And that's a powerful trifecta. Remember that networking can be learned. Believe me, if I can learn it, if I can speak, you can, anyone can. You just need a system and the confidence to use it. And if you don't have confidence, you can use a system and get confidence in the process. Confidence comes from being in action. So if you're waiting for confidence to descend upon you, sorry, not going to happen. If you want to remove guesswork and gain confidence in networking, both online and in person, I created a course for you. It's called Everything Networking, Strategies for Effective Networking. And it's designed to help you start conversations without awkwardness, build conversations that matter, and turn conversations into clients. Oh, but maybe you've tried networking and it didn't work. There's a reason for that. In Everything Networking, you will find out what those reasons are. But you will also find out where to go. I go over all the different kinds of choices, the different types of networking events, how to choose, how to make the best choices so you can maximize your time in the right places with the right people. Be clear on what to do. And here I talk about how to be best prepared, what to bring to navigate in-person events including how to get away from someone you don't want to talk to anymore or listen to anymore, as often as the case. And also you'll know how to listen and discover how to bring your best listening to any conversation. And it's not what you think. I go a lot more into what I just touched on a few minutes ago. And you'll know exactly what to say, because sometimes that's what people think is like, I just don't know what to say, but you will know exactly what to say. And notice that what to say, that what's coming out of your mouth is last here. And I've included some templates there that you can fill in for your short business introduction, also known as your elevator pitch or your commercial. And you also get 2 special bonuses. You get a PDF of 7 steps to have your online networking be as great as your in-person, and a super bonus of 30 minutes of one-to-one time with me on Zoom, scheduled at your convenience. And that's where I can help you with your networking and answer your specific questions. And that's a $200 value. And because you're here today, I'm going to offer you a second super bonus of a second 30-minute one-to-one live call with me. This entire course, plus the 2 bonuses that include 2 calls with me, is $97. So build connections that matter, turn those conversations into clients and opportunities. And if you're ready to stop feeling invisible online or invisible in a room full of strangers and start attracting opportunities effortlessly, everything networking is your next move.
Well, thank you, Donna. That was absolutely great. I just love that. And I love the red stiletto. I'm a high heel connoisseur. I absolutely love red too. So you are near and dear to my heart right there. That's awesome. All right, well, let's open it up for questions. Queen has got a question.
Hello. Hi, Donna. How are you today?
Hi.
I like your red shirt.
Thank
I wanted
you.
to ask you, I know that you're offering your course for $99, but can you be a little bit more specific and tell me what it is exactly that you're offering?
Yeah, it's 5 recorded modules, plus the 7 steps to have online be as good as in person, plus the 2 30-minute calls, or it could be combined into a one-hour call, but personal time with me.
Okay. What's a part of your 30-minute? What's a part of your courses? Like what's in your courses? Like what is it? Is it teaching you what?
It will teach you the different kinds of networking opportunities that there are, like the Chamber of Commerce or women's networking, or the different types, online meet speed networking, just the different types of networking. So go through a lot. I can't every single little one, but there's a lot of different kinds of networking, right? So for some people it works to go once a month, some like it once a week, some like a few weeks, some want a quarter, whatever it is. Where to go though. And then how do you choose? What's your criteria, and do who they are, match up with who you are? And then what do you do when you get there? So things that you bring, and how to behave, including, like I mentioned, getting away from the people that you might want to get away from, or, maybe you're nervous. Like I used to be so nervous. I was telling some people at this event that I was just at, we were talking for a few minutes, we're standing near the food, and I was telling them that I was coming back home to do this with all of you. And I said, and I used to stand near the food on purpose. I'd stand there because then I didn't have to go out into the crowd and find people to talk to, because everybody comes to the food. So just, things like, I don't recommend that, but if you're really, really shy and nervous and you want to learn to network, start standing by the food. Let's see. Then how to listen is another one, and that's a whole thing of its own, because there's different kinds of listening that we do that we don't even realize that we're doing. And then there's listening that works. And so distinguishing between those, and then what to say. And I have some different templates, because sometimes people get really hung up on what to say. Like I don't like to go because I don't know what to say. Well, guess what? You have a template. Makes it easy.
That makes sense to me. So do you think what you and I are talking about right now, and you and I holding this conversation, do you think this is a form of networking?
Of course.
Just wanted to ask you that question, because I feel like one of the keys to networking is just being yourself and not trying to program. Because when you program too much on a level like that, you're gonna always not hear and miss listening. So I think y'all appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Tim.
Okay, well, I have a question. I might as well
Yeah.
throw it there. First, great job. And,
Thanks.
some of the things the points that I have are really just observations. I'm looking at this, and one of my favorite things to do is networking because it's always the most productive. The people that you meet in networking events are outgoing people that are looking for opportunities. They're looking for things. Many cases, they're going to be influencers. They're what we call special people. They're sales oriented. Their prior experience in doing what they're doing, they're entrepreneurial, connectors, industrious, and so forth. They're the types of people that you want to reach out to at networking events. And so one of the things I think for $97, what you're putting to work, if that converts into one new client, two new clients, if I had all day, every day with nothing to do, I would spend all day, every day in networking events. Period. In fact, some of my good friends actually do that. He's a multimillionaire just going to networking events, referring people to doing exactly what you're doing. So it's a great role. One little tip that I always do that just I always share with is finding that common ground when you're listening, like Queen was talking about and like you're talking about, is when you find that bit of common ground, there's always one. Sometimes it might be a completely foreign subject to you, but there's always something. Identify on that common ground, and that brings that commonality. The other thing is find something that you like, whether it's their why, whether it's their tenacity, whatever it is that you're doing. Let them be enthusiastic about what they're talking about. Someone shows you their baby and that's what they're showing you, and you say, oh, well, thanks, great, hey, how are you? They're not going to think very much of you. Their baby is the most important thing in their life right now. You want to get a connection with that person, recognize their baby as valuable, beautiful, and well crafted. And I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. That's just great. And I'm gonna plug your course right now because I think everyone in our community needs what you have. So I'm gonna go and grab that and put it up on Facebook right now, as a matter of fact. So there we have it.
And guys, I did put a link to Donna's course in the chat. Just remember to put equals your username at the end, right? So that it goes to your replicated site. And then I want to add a comment too, and just from experience, I don't have an issue meeting people. What I found my issue was in networking was I'm kind of a Hemi. I'm all over the place and I want to meet everybody. And then I wouldn't remember anything and I wouldn't make any connections because I was just meeting people, right? And it was like, okay, the more people I met, the more connections I would have. That's not true. You want quality. And so what I had to learn to do, Donna, and it's in your list, I had to learn to listen. Okay. Because I'm just I'm just buzzing all over the room. And so I had to learn to just close my mouth and listen to people. And therefore then I would remember it. And I'm going to make another plug for Mr. Matt DeMaio, who works with memory stuff. You guys, a lot of you know him, taking his courses, and it's helping me at these events be able to connect people and remember who they are and what they do. Because I use Matt's tips in his courses on how to connect people with things and memorization. And so it's about connection with Matt's stuff also, not just purely memorization. And that has helped me a lot in remembering people, their names and what they do. So the two of them together, extremely powerful. So thank you, Donna. Absolutely wonderful. And Gregory, you've got your hand up.
I do. Thank you, Donna. Great information. I would like to know, as a suggestion, when I am the host of an event, everybody wants to talk to me, and I want to get around to everybody. How do I cut this person short so I can get to the next one and the next one and the next one to be a gracious host?
So that sounds like you're referring to in-person events?
Yes, ma'am.
In person. I think it is perfectly okay to say a simpler version of what you just said. hey, I love that you came here. Thank you so much. And whatever, something about what you've been talking about. And, there's a lot of people here. And as the host, I'd really love to be able to get around and talk to a few more people. And I'd love to connect more with you later.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just tell the truth. Because people know when we're not. They know when we're being weird.
Okay.
Awesome.
I've been accused of that once or twice before.
Yeah, people know when we're being weird.
Exactly. All right. Well, Donna, just thank you again. Any other comments or questions or anything? Tim, I'm assuming you just forgot to take your hand down, right? Let me pull that.
Yeah, I did. Sorry
Okay.
about that. I was too busy posting on Facebook.
Oh, he's already posting on Facebook. That's awesome. No, this is a good one. This is a good one to share out, guys. Grab that link. Make sure you get your username on it. But this is really good stuff. So it can really help. But Donna, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you. Appreciated having you tonight. This was just absolutely fun. I hope you'll come back and join us. And I hope you'll come to one of our open mic. That's what we were doing.
I need to.
Yeah, I think that we just started doing them. They're brand new. And it's really fun. And you can win gift certificates too. So the platform.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I joined in October and I've hardly been to anything. I was wrapping up another program I was in, and now that's done. And I need to just come to things. So I'll see you more.
Everything's on the calendar. Go to events calendar on the site and check them out. Everything on there, the events calendar is free, you guys. We don't charge for any of that. We want to help and support our creators, our affiliates, and our learners. We've just turned into our third phase here, and it's all about bringing on learners and sharing all this beautiful content that we've brought on. We want to bring on a lot more, but it's about sharing what we have and getting people engaged. So engagement, engagement, engagement. So awesome. Everybody have a great rest of your night and hope to see you here tomorrow night for affiliate night. We will be focusing on what it is to be an affiliate on the Great Discovery platform. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna. Thanks, everybody, for participating. Have a great